Gentlemen, it's 5:30 in the evening. This is the City Council work meeting. It's August the 20th, 2025, and it's 5:30. The meeting's being held at the Chamber offices, 10 North Main Street. I do not see Pastor Pete in the congregation. Is he out in the hall? No. Mr. Riddle, will you honor us with a prayer? After which Renan Savage will lead us in the pledge.
Our Father in heaven, we are truly grateful for the opportunity to be here today. We are grateful that we live in Cedar City, Utah. We are grateful for the surroundings. We are truly grateful for the people who live here, for what they contribute. We ask that as we meet this evening, that we may do it in peace and safety. We ask that we may do it with open minds and the understanding of what is best for our city. We ask Thee to bless our police force and our fire people. We ask Thee to bless all those who serve in our city. We pray for Thy guidance and strength. We most of all pray at this time for the moisture which we truly need. Truly grateful for Thy Son. We ask Thee to help us in all that we do. We pray for this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a motion on the agenda.
Yeah, as soon as I get my mic on, Mayor. Mayor, I would move that we approve the City Council work meeting agenda for this August 20th, 2025.
Second.
I have motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
It's unanimous. Thank you. You'll remember in your calendars that we were going to, we call it caucusing.
Canvassing,
For the vote.
Canvassing the vote.
Canvassing the vote.
Canvassing, not caucusing,
Right.
canvassing for the vote, 9 a.m. next Tuesday morning. Good for that?
Yes,
Great, thank you very much.
So that's on the 26th, yep.
26th.
Yep, 26th. I don't have anything further. Council members, do you have business matters tonight?
Mayor, I just have 2 or 3 things I'd like to bring up. First of all, I think on behalf of our council, certainly, and the city, I want to extend our heartfelt gratitude and condolences to the citizens of Tremonton for the terrible tragedy they suffered through this last week, and to the county of Box Elder. It does make us realize how fortunate we are. I see a lot of our officers out there in the hallway, and we're very blessed that we pray every day they come home safely. So I just want us to acknowledge that, and to the good citizens of Tremonton for the tragedy they're going through. And secondly, Mayor, I would like to just remind the public who may not stay through this whole riveting meeting tonight that at 7 p.m. in the America First Event Center, there is the second in a series of SEU's America 250 speaker series. And this one, it begins at 7. It is the story of 1987 when the world came to Cedar City, when the Russian gymnasts and the United States gymnasts met in Cedar City at the Centrum. It was an amazing event. I remember it very well. I was a lot younger then, but I remember it.
What month was that in 1987?
What?
What month was that?
Was that I was young?
No, that happened in. What month was that in?
I believe it was in May, I believe. It was May.
Hey, that's the month and the year I was born.
Yeah. Fair enough, Councilman, fair enough. And that's all we'll say about that. But that, Dr. David Lunt will be doing the talk tonight, and they'll be talking about some of the remarkable things that occurred in the Soviet bloc and them coming to Cedar City. And it should be a very fun event. So I'm hoping to catch at least some of it, all you people on the agenda tonight. And then lastly, I have 2 public nuisance weed-related issues. On the corner, of course I do, a corner of 200 South and 500 West, right across from the Senior Citizen Center. There is a sidewalk there that you cannot even walk
500
along.
East.
500 East, excuse me, 500 East, yes, excuse me, 500 East. You can't even walk down that sidewalk. And then the second one is in front of Culver's. And I don't know if that is Culver's property. I don't know if that's UDOT's property.
So that's UDOT. UDOT and Culver's have back and forth UDOT's tried to dispose of it. Culver's has tried to buy it. Since Culver's open, there's been a miscommunication between the two of them, between selling and buying. It's pretty much in UDOT's right of way, which UDOT thinks is our responsibility to maintain. So if that's not confusing enough.
It is, but the Chinese elms don't care. They're growing very tall.
Darren Adams with the police department. Code enforcement did go up there, and they've talked to Mr. Witzke. That's on their schedule to
Okay.
address in October.
Oh, October.
Yes. So that is the current plan.
Well, Cole, you city council might have a project. Thank
Did you
you.
get that other address, Darren, that you mentioned? Okay.
Thank you. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Other council members?
Mayor, just a couple things of personal privilege, if I could. Tonight, I'm gonna step out at 6:30. Have a plane to catch. And then also on those, on that same note, on September 24th, as of now, we have an action meeting scheduled. Myself and Councilman Phillips will both be out of town. And in speaking to my other council members, there may be a third one that's also gonna be out of town that day. So we may have to, September 24th. So we may have to, I don't know if the better option, if it does come down to that, he'll check and see if he is gonna be indeed out of town. If he is, maybe we do both the week before, we try and double up, or I don't know what you guys think, but.
Yeah, because the week after that, we don't have it because of Utah League of Cities and Towns.
No, oh, yeah, October 1st.
They can cancel that for us.
September 30th?
No, so
October
it's the
1.
24th, so then it would be October
Yeah.
1. So just something to keep kind of our eyes on, and Councilman Riddle, you'll let us know if we need to.
I'll find
So-
out in the next couple days.
Thank you. We haven't had that problem before.
Sorry,
That may be the first. Since I've been in, I'm sure it isn't the first forever.
but
Okay. Anything else,
no.
gentlemen? Staff?
So there's definitely no meeting on October 1st, right?
Okay. Seeing none, let's start right up here with Chief.
Good evening again, council, mayor, and staff. Darren Adams with the police department. We are here before you tonight to present to you two new officers whom we have hired, Brooke Renolfson and Logan Scoresby. We'll let them introduce themselves and their family. This puts us having filled two of the three new positions that you gave us in the budget. That leaves one more plus the overhires, and then we'll have one replacement with someone who is leaving in a few weeks. So we're getting closer, and we thank you for that.
Hi, my name is Officer Logan Scoresby. I just wanted to say thank you to the city for offering me this employment. I really appreciate it, and my family appreciates it as well. I just wanted to share a little bit about my family. I got a beautiful family. They're there in the back.
Who's here?
My wife and Annabelle Scoresby, and then Adelaide Scoresby, which is our 3-year-old, and then Millie Scoresby, who just turned 1 as well. They both had birthdays this last month or so. So I just wanted to share a couple little stories about just about our family. Ever since I was a kid, I wanted to be a police officer. I was recently in sales at Stephen Wade Auto Center for the last 4 or 5 years, and I came home one night and I said, "Sweetie, I really want to kind of live my dream and become a police officer." And she said, "No way." And so we kind of left it alone, and about a week later, she came to me after we prayed about it, and I appreciate us saying a prayer. We are a Christian family, and she said, "You know, I think that would be okay if that's what you want to do, and I'll give your full support." And so then I applied with the Utah Tech Police Academy, and then later applied with you guys and was offered the position. I just want to say thank you. I want to share one other little story. We've gone on many drives up here to Cedar City just because we like the town, And our 3-year-old, every time she hears Cedar City, she chants, Cedar City, Cedar City. And it kind
Love
of
it.
feels home and hits home that this can be a really good place for us. And I just want to say thank you and appreciate you guys having me here. So.
Thank you.
And I am Officer Brooke Ranulfson. I'm born and raised St. George, lived there my whole life. Recently graduated from Utah Tech with my bachelor's in criminal justice. I kind of got my foot in the door doing victim advocacy stuff in Santa Clara, Ivins area, and kind of realized that was where I wanted to go as far as law enforcement. And then this is my family here on the third row. My dad and mom, and then my siblings. I'm the
Do
oldest.
your dad and mom have names?
Yes, they do. Gabe Ranulfson, Aaron Ranulfson, and then my siblings, Avery, Caden, and Ashton.
Great.
Yes. And yeah. Yep, that's.
Thank you. And you're welcome to photograph any of this from anywhere you want to be, people.
Your families.
And Councilman
Your families
Schultz
can
loves
get
being
your
in the background
cameras
of all the
out.
photos.
No, he doesn't.
Do whatever you like.
Ma'am,
And he's going to move.
it's up to you.
Brooke want to turn his face and she'll swear you in.
I do solemnly swear that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Utah. That I will discharge the duty of my office with fidelity.
Now, those who are pinning, if they want to come up here and we'll do the pinning.
Oh, yeah.
That as well.
No, no blood.
Or now's the time to get even.
Now, if you'd like to, we'll start right over there with Mr. Wilkie and shake his hand. And
Welcome. You were going to walk away without shaking hands.
When you were when we remodeled.
Okay, yeah. We did that in the last year or two. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Welcome again.
Thank you.
You are older.
Now, why did that come with it?
I don't know.
Together.
It's an old wives' tale.
Yeah, mom
Old
too.
wives'.
She's kind of part of this.
we have the seal. If you want to stand in front of the seal for the pictures, you can do that to the side of it or whatever. Here's your photo op, but I don't really want to do that. Well, I'm sure I am.
They can cut you off.
That out.
They can't see your index finger behind your middle finger.
Good point.
To the camera
Good
like here.
point. Wow. Is this experience that you've known?
My dad does it like every video with you after you put them off the camera. It's fine, just doing my standard pose.
What, Dad, the standard pose isn't working?
Oh, almost. There we go. Try one more. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Hey, Chief, well, you're right there. I actually do have one more quick question, sorry. What happened, we had I just don't see Chief Phillips here. The fire today off the side of I-15, was that just a brush fire? Were there structures involved, do you know?
I don't know. I was in meetings most of the
Someone
day.
got tired of the weeds.
Yeah, I don't have an answer. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. I just thought maybe you'd know, but
My understanding.
any of your officers on duty might know? Looks like Officer Heaps probably has an idea.
Hi, Officer Eric Heaps. So this looks like it was a small brush fire that went all the way up to the freeway and stopped. Went down close to the structures, but they were on scene quick enough to knock it down.
Good, thanks.
Good.
Thank you very much, folks, for coming tonight.
Thank you.
You're always welcome to stay. It's the cheapest entertainment in town.
The most exciting, too.
Sometimes.
Okay, next item on the agenda is also a staff item. Matt, or Shane, I guess you, and there we go. Jonathan is here.
Jonathan Stath, the City Engineering Department. Kent, would you be able to pull down the screen?
I didn't go. He didn't have me on the text. I didn't even know until late last night, and I'm like,
It's too late. I already had my days booked.
I went out. Yeah,
7 o'clock last night.
In relation to any of them.
very similar.
So was it on the BLM on the east side?
Except in one spot. It's east and north of the well we drilled. One area that.
That's the good one.
Jonathan Stath, I shouldn't say we, Shane's been out looking for well locations. But I've also been out and seen these locations. So we wanted to present this to the city council. We've been looking for a few more locations out in the Rush Lake area and then also along Braffitts Creek. Let's see, Kent, could you maybe scroll down just a little bit?
I think
Yeah, keep going. Yeah, thank you.
might even be able to go.
So you can see on there, the BLM South well, kind of there on the left. That's the one that we completed as a production well. So we have a few locations that are just to the north of that, and then one to the west, just on the other side of Minersville Highway. And then we have 3 potential locations going down along Braffitts Creek, and those would be the 2.1, 2.2, and 2.3.
So Jonathan, these are different locations than we previously outlined because we abandoned some of them, if you remember.
Yes, these are brand new locations.
Okay.
Yeah, these
And
are
I
all,
noticed they're all on BLM pretty much. So we're
Yes.
staying off of private property.
yeah, they're pretty much all BLM. Now, this 2.1 is on private property.
Yeah.
Shane can speak to this a little bit more than I can, but we've had some conversations with the property owner, preliminary. But that one is on private property.
Who is the owner?
It's Lundgren.
Lundgren.
Yeah.
So I guess, and maybe this is what Shane was gonna discuss, I mean, what makes these,
Let them discuss it
okay,
and then bring your question maybe. Is that okay?
sure.
So I'll have Shane talk a little bit about the order that would be the best for doing these.
Well, this is the same person that which the other one's Mervyn Cox, and he ranked these. His favorite was 2.1, the one on private property. And then the next 2 he said were about equal, 2.4 and 5. He felt like those were similar to the BLM South that we just did. And then the next one would be 2.6, which was by the gravel pit.
It's over here.
And then the last two, he said were equal, were 2.2 and 2.3. So that's kind of the ranking. We did look in other areas further north, and he didn't recommend any other sites on that trip, so.
How close is the 2.1 to Minersville Highway? Or to the water line the other way?
It's about a few miles, I don't know, I didn't really measure it.
Does that other map show?
I think if you scroll down, you can see Enoch 3.
Yeah, if it's
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
there is some tough terrain to get a pipeline connected, but
Couple
So would the
spots.
thought be from 2.1 to go south and east and connect at the Enoch well, or just to take it north and east and connect over to where BLM, our other well would be?
Or
Guess
take it
it-
to
I
Minersville
guess it
Highway and run the other
depends
one
on if-
past.
yeah, how many wells you have in that area might justify a new pipeline in Minersville. So.
It'll kind of be easier to figure that out when we know which ones have the water and how much,
Of course.
and how far exactly, and how hard it is to get it to them.
So one other question I have is, I mean, are you okay to punch, I mean, what does it do to our current production well by putting a well at 2.4 or 2.5? They're far enough apart, you're okay to put wells that close to each other?
I guess we could ask
Yeah.
Owen and Collins. I would think you'd probably just want to do one of those, and then maybe we could look
There, it's gonna affect.
for a location a little further
A
north.
different basin. If one's good, then you would look in a different basin.
You gotta remember that the BLM North well, we did not finish.
Correct.
There was some capacity in that well. It's not a very deep well. It's probably not gonna have the same capacity as the BLM South well. So if you wanted to go north, and develop that BLM North well and another well in between, it's a thought.
And our BLM South wells putting out was like 1,400,
1,000 gallons.
1,000 or 1,400?
14.
1,400 gallons per minute. So you would hope that 2.4, 2.5 would do about the same. I mean, what's the distance between those? We're just talking a few hundred feet,
200 yards.
Yeah, maybe a little more than that.
600 feet, 700 feet?
Yeah, yeah,
But they're a little different. They're two different plays. When you look at them, the one on the east, we think kind of is more of a basalt play, more of the rock, that mountain,
Okay.
and more like our BLM South, and the other one is more of the alluvial. Is that a fair statement?
So it looks like 2.1 and 2.2 are in the same drainage, so did he say why he picked 2.1 over that, where we'd have to buy land?
What? Actually, he felt like it was more concentrated further east. And then as we went west, that's why 2.2 and 3 were on the bottom of his list. He was picking up other stuff, like maybe it spreads out more.
Okay.
To the
And was
west.
the soil better in one than another? Did you get more
Well,
gravelly?
2.1 I think would have the most gravel, just looking, it's got, I don't know.
But how would,
It's in more in a canyon,
It's in a
yeah.
narrow canyon, there's a lot of gravel.
And so the gravel would have washed into that drainage? Okay.
would that affect, though, if we were to drill that, would that affect 2.2? Looks like that's exactly where the water drains.
Yeah, I
I mean,
would
it's
think
gonna
they're
affect
connected.
downstream.
Is there any value going further east on the BLM, closer to our existing well?
Going right on the property line, because the drainage goes there, and then there's one coming down, a little draw from the north, it looks like, on the map.
Well, no, my question was going even further east.
clear through that canyon.
Over in the BLM.
Yeah, get over the other side of that canyon, and it's still on the BLM, it's just on the east slope instead of the west slope.
Yeah, we didn't look in that area, so we could,
So the one is on, the one is on one side of the creek, and the other one is on the other side of the creek. And the number one, 2.1, you could go a little further east
Get on BLM.
and get on the BLM. It was good. He was very positive about this spot, said thought it was a real good spot. It does look like that when you go look at it. You say, yeah, this makes sense. if we can get that piece from, get an acre in there, that would be for some, I'd be interested in what your conversation was with Lundgren.
He wanted some more information. I told him we probably need an easement and a pad for the well, and then he and his sister manage the ranch, so he was gonna discuss it with her.
Okay. Yeah, he could benefit, he could get, we'd bring power to the area, we'd bring a road to the area, he probably could get some water out of this thing, and water some cows. He could do good with it, probably.
So what's the play here? Because, I mean, I guess I'm just kind of surprised. I didn't know we were even still looking for more. I mean, I thought we were still waiting on the other ones that were being done, and the one that we were looking at possibly purchasing when complete, if successful. So, I mean, do we even have budgeted money to be drilling more test wells? I didn't think we did.
So we have $4 million budgeted for the pipeline that was supposed to go out into the
No, that's not true. No, we have $4 million budgeted to buy water at Rush Lake, or to get water at Rush Lake.
Okay.
And $10 million budgeted for the pipeline.
Well, if it looks like we're gonna do test wells, I'm not real sure we're getting anywhere with the people at Rush Lake. I don't think anything's really going on there.
Yeah, I don't know that the council's aware of exactly where we went. You approved a plan, I submitted it to him, asked for his signature, thought we were in agreement. When we got it back, it had been lawyered up. And it was not our deal, and I said, you need to sign the one I sent you, and he said no, and I said, we have no deal. But it didn't matter, because all it was a memorandum of understanding. It was really no deal. Deal was going to come when he had water and he had it in the hole. And I said, I wish you'd go get water in the hole, and we'd have something to talk about, but until then, I don't think, so the MOU is nowhere where we would buy. I hope we would, and I hope he would, but I don't think we can wait around for him to do what he's wanting to do. I think we need to continue to move forward, and we need to use that money that we've earmarked out there for well development in the Rush Lake area to keep looking out here.
See, that changes things.
It does.
I didn't know that.
No, I know, you didn't. I didn't really come back and say that deal never went through.
Yeah.
I keep hoping something will go through, but nothing is going through. And there's no drill rig out there, and he's not drilling, but he's baling hay, and you can only do one thing at once.
Well, I mean, obviously, we're just somewhat hearing about this, but I mean, I don't know how the other fellow count, we need to discuss this further, but I mean, BLM South, I would call a success, that one well there. So, I mean, if there is money, if we can reallocate it from what was gonna be that purchase, and if what you're saying, Mayor, is you wanna look at doing some more test wells, I mean, that 2.4 or 2.5 would probably be the place I would recommend we go next, but just because of how successful BLM South was.
Sure.
Well, and when you take a minute and get out there.
And I need to,
You do. The 2.1, it's just in a perfectly flat, it is in a good place. It looks like all these things should drain right to that spot. I mean, it just.
Feels good
It
there.
does. You look in there, and the ease of putting a drill rig right there and drilling a hole, it just kind of makes you excited in a way.
It's just pipelines a little further away.
It is. But if we don't continue to drill test wells, we're not gonna, no matter what, we gotta keep looking for water and putting in as soon as we can. It's not gonna be a next year deal, but in pipe as soon as we can, and I think that's where our engineer department is continually looking, trying to get us down that road. I just think we need to continue down that road.
So I guess in a kind of a long-term plan, if we found enough water in that to warrant a pipeline, we would start on that at what point? Because we have 10 million budgeted, it's gonna cost about 17.
There's really one more piece in the middle. We drill test wells, and we get a quality sample and a feeling for the quantity. But once the quality is what we need, then we have to finish them.
Correct, no, I
Then
understand that.
we
I'm-
finish those, that's a big chunk of money.
Yeah.
And then they're finished, we decide which one. Once we have enough wells to do what we want to do, then we need to finish them.
And I'm not
And
saying
then-
that we shouldn't move forward, but I
And then
know,
at that point, you can talk about the.
I know we've been
pipelines.
coordinating with Enoch and the Water Conservancy District to join forces, and I'm wondering, you know, a timeline where it might be more efficient if we did that sooner than later and had the Conservancy District put the pipeline in. But we've got to keep moving forward with water, and that's why I'm looking at time horizons on both of those
Yep.
to see what's going to be the best. They can get grants that we can't,
I
and they
think
can
the
do things
pipeline-
a little more efficiently.
Maybe even the tops of these wells is a position where the district can have play in here and do very well, and maybe get some grants. I think the exploration is kind of on us. I think we have to find the water. And once we know the water's there and we've developed 4 wells of at least 1,000 gallons each well, which is about what we get out of our existing wells, you know, then it's gonna be a really fun discussion. It'll be down the road. It'll be next year. But if we can get 4 wells and find 4 and develop them out, then we can then we can finally make decisions.
So I don't know what you guys think, but I mean, I would be interested in seeing what it would take to get bids to look at 2.1, either 2.4 or 2.5, and 2.6. I just like the 2.6 is right by the road.
Well,
And wasn't that number 2 for him too, you said? Wasn't that his second highest rank?
yeah, I don't think any of us got quite as excited about 2.6 as we did the others. I think what I'd like to ask is that we got a week, I've given you a little text message, times that I'm available. I'd be more than happy to go for a ride. I know where they're at. It takes about an hour and 20 minutes. Ron and I did it 6:30 this morning, and it takes about an hour and 20 minutes to do it.
Yep.
Do the whole loop. And then you'll understand it and come back here next week and then have a right good discussion about it. That's what I'd like to see happen.
That's fine.
I'd like to have you gentlemen or someone explain so I more fully understand. I see these sort of all happening in a line or somewhat of a line from go down at 2.1 all the way to the northwest. Isn't that where the water drains?
It's a valley.
That's where Rabbits Creek basically drains
So
down through there.
if we punch a hole here, isn't it going to affect the hole further down the road?
It would.
It could
would or
somewhat.
could.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't fully understand why these are the best locations.
The soil
Because of
makes a
that.
huge difference in the success of
And
the
even
well.
just
If you
from-
get in a gravelly
Yeah.
kind of pea
Yeah.
gravelly vein, even though it might be the straw in the same box, it's going to be a much more successful well.
The water's
Correct.
moving
But what does
underground
that
to Rush
do
Lake.
further? So that's a successful well, but what does it do to 2.4 down there?
Right. I think you have 2 different drainages coming together on the 2.1. You have one coming
Well,
from the other
that's
side.
my question, and I just don't know. And
There's 2, I think they're in 2 basins, just kind of
I think,
looking at the topography. I don't know that
Yeah.
I'm not a geologist or anything,
Yeah.
but it looks like it's 2 basins or 2 separate basins with some repetitive drainage heading southeast.
Is that your take on it, gentlemen?
Yes.
I mean, that's the surface drainage is definitely running, from southeast to northwest. Underground, it's an aquifer.
Right.
So, whether there are some theories whether there's an underground stream that runs, but basically it's a big bathtub and it's, we draw from it and then we use it, so.
I see you've got a gentleman behind you, I think, that would like to say something. Is that right, Mr. Baker?
Matt Baker, Water Department. Can you scroll, I guess, up to Enoch, show the Enoch 3 well? So I haven't been out there, but I would go with this one like Ron said, because you got a well here that's 1.8 miles. If it's
You're getting into
successful,
that.
you got water, we got power, a pipeline that can handle it.
I-
We can have water. You go up here, we have to run 15 miles of pipeline to get
Right,
into
right.
town.
even,
Right there,
even,
it's there.
even though the topography is,
It's rough.
It is, but I think that would be the best way to run a pipe to get it into the pipeline.
We could have water in a pipeline
have
much
water.
more efficiently and cheaper than the other route.
Yeah.
The problem, and that's true, and I like that play, and I think we've talked all about that
We did.
as we go out along the road. The issue is that pipeline coming back to town will definitely from Enoch, will definitely handle 1 and may handle 2 wells pretty good in our existing pipeline. We do have a neck down right at the freeway where we go under the freeway at 16 inches. And that's 4 wells. This could be a push, isn't it, Matt? 16-inch pipe?
I figured we could get, actually 3 more wells into that. Well, the 16 would only be, we could only get 1 more. So we'd have to do something going under the
I
freeway.
keep hoping 2.
So then the BLM well that's successful is just a stretch down to that one and tie it in, and we don't have to do a line all the way back.
There may
if it-
be
if it has
value,
the
when you
capacity.
see it, there may be value of going down through that gap and going right to our well with a
Right.
couple of these easterly wells, and that's cool. I still believe that the day still needs to come where we go up 130 with our Rush Lake water and south well, center wells, north well.
But if we could get 2 wells into the existing
would short.
infrastructure, and then the Pine Valley or Wawa, it's synonymous terms that are used on that.
Well,
So-
one would take care of today.
A discussion we had this afternoon with the Water Conservancy District is they're, I don't know if it's a mid-range plan or how we're out in the planning horizon it is.
8 years.
They plan on following the county's bypass road as it cuts east to west across the valley. So that would be a logical place to tie in if we wanted to tie both systems in. It would also be somewhat of a reasonable place to look at, evaluate whether we tie our infrastructure in there or not, or we tie it in up by 2.1. The planned bypass road, just so you know, will intersect along Highway 91 somewhere just to the south of the Enoch Well number 3. So it works out well with our infrastructure to utilize that corridor wherever it,
Correct.
they know basically where the corridor is gonna be, but it might shift 100 yards either way. Who knows?
Isn't it on the north side of Enoch where that's gonna come and hit I-15?
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah. So just a little bit south of the Summit exit.
South of our Enoch Well 3 on the map and north of the ice rink.
So why not tie it in? Ours right there.
Well, this was just a presentation, right?
It is.
That's right. I would like to put it on for discussion next week.
What are we discussing, whether we're going to allocate or assign locations?
I hope we're gonna see it, and I'd like to make it a motion next week, make a motion this week that we consider this, and if we can make a decision next week of what we ought to start getting proposals for, requests for proposals on some wells out there.
I would like to see that, oh, sorry. go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, the next logical step, if the council wants to move forward, would be authorize us to go out and get bids and use that funding that's set aside for
Yeah.
For the other one.
for that $4 million worth of funding to use for this purpose. That's what you'd be asked to look at for next week. If you're ready, if you're not, you're not.
Yeah, I'd be in favor of that if
Could you review one more time for us the priorities suggested?
Number 1 was 2.1,
Okay,
2 was tied 2.4 and 2.5.
okay,
Number 3 was 2.6, and then number 4 was tied 2.3 and 2.2.
Okay. Mr. Bittman, will you really quickly, because the mayor's mentioned it a couple of times, the 10 million, I don't remember budgeting 10 million for a pipeline.
I thought that was him that said it.
I know we discussed it. I can't remember it being in the budget either. I know the 4 million's there.
The way I
know we
remember.
I know we talked about the 10 million, but I don't know if we made it in.
The way I got it, and I sat here kind of amazed. The very last 3 minutes of our budget meeting, I thought you said, well, if we're gonna do all of this, what does it take to get a pipeline from Rush Lake to Cedar? And I said, $10 million. And I thought you said, if we're gonna do all of this, we ought to put the pipeline in, and Paul wrote it down. I assumed that was, and we closed the meeting, we were gone.
We can have Terry check and see if it's there or not.
yeah, that's easy enough then. Okay,
And there's a lot that's gotta go down the road before that would ever happen.
of course.
But the first step is find more water. We found some. We're pleased, we're happy. We've got 2 wells that look like they've got it, one for sure and the other one probably good. We really need some more.
2.1 gives us more options.
It really does.
It gives us more options.
You ride out there and you
Quicker
just
options
think
for
that,
sure.
yes.
Once we get the property. that we
Yes, yes, we would have to acquire.
I'm still just kind of surprised, and not to go on too much more about this, but, I mean, it looks like it's what, 100 feet away from the property line, 200 feet away from the property line? Can we not just kick it a couple hundred feet that way?
It may be easier to be on private property.
Okay. Okay,
Quicker approval in the BLM.
okay.
Yeah, and you just look at the area that he marked out. It's a really good site for drilling a well. I mean,
Okay.
it is, it definitely gets you a little bit excited sitting there, so.
Okay.
We
Thank
can
you very
certainly put it
much.
on the agenda for discussion next week.
Thank
yeah,
you.
Just, we need to keep discussing.
Yeah.
Okay, public agenda, any public comments tonight? Yes, please.
Real quick, I think most of the attendees here are aware of the severe flooding that took place down into Cross Hollow area, down Cody Drive 4 years ago or so, and the resulting damage that has been recently corrected. I know all last year, summer, going up Cody, there was a lot of road work and construction that was done to alleviate the damage. I want to do a shout out to Eric Witzke and his team. And it was reported to him that some of those vaults were still filled with dirt and rocks, even after the contractor had been in there redoing that curb. So all the work that was done was not going to work because the drains were plugged. So from a cost avoidance and to prevent further expense, Eric was notified on Wednesday. Friday, it was done. So shout out to the city and Eric, great job. It's going to work, and we don't have to spend money for the 3rd time doing that job. Well done.
Thank you. Any other public comments? Please. Hi.
Hello, Shane Brustwich. Coming back about Ridge Road again. The other night, I was woke up at 4:30 in the morning by a crash, engine revving, tires squealing. The guy was stuck on the rocks next door. I don't know how many wrecks I've seen. This is 6 or 7. People up the street had their truck run into and totaled, parked out front, and I notice now they park up on the sidewalk because they're afraid. My daughter's afraid of parking her vehicle in front of my house. It's an ongoing problem, and I know they're aware of it. And we're spending millions and millions of dollars to make the problem worse. I mean, this water, devil's advocate, you say, do we really want to make our town huge? Or is this a nice small community? And it seems like the business that's done here is almost all growth oriented, and it's making the problem worse and worse, and we're not hanging on to our small town. $4 million would go a heck of a long ways if we could fund our police force to enforce our basic laws. And it's not just the speeding, it's the noise. I think the decibel levels would be in the hearing damaging area if you stood on the sidewalk out front with a lot of these trucks roaring up. Cities are employing Google to keep traffic moving at stoplights because a car pulling away from a stoplight pollutes the most. And we have these cars are just lugging up the hill, just puking. It stinks. There is soot. If I was considering, I looked up the environmental quality, Utah State Air Quality Board. If there was a sensor there, I'm sure the particulate matter would be out through the roof. The tire wear, the tire debris wearing out under the high power of braking, the brake dust, the asbestos. There's multiple reasons why it's a bad idea to send all kinds of traffic up over an 8% grade road that is not designed for 30, 40 miles an hour, which a lot of people are driving.
Shane, over here, do you see this, is this solely an enforcement issue, or what other solutions might you look at? Because it is a road, it is a public street. I understand the enforcement side of it, and believe me, every time I drive down Ridge Road, I make sure that I'm only going 25 miles an hour, especially in front of your home.
Thank you. And there's a lot
but-
of people that do,
Sure.
and there's a lot of people that, you know, are conscientious.
But there's hundreds of homes up there, and so
Right.
you're going to have traffic. I understand the people going from the university over the hill down towards the Providence Center. I get that. But you're going to have traffic because there's hundreds of homes up in that area, right?
Right.
I'm just trying to
The
see what
impact.
other solutions we might do to alleviate the situation beyond the enforcement side, because I understand what you're saying. We are limited in terms of our police force.
It's Main Street, it's lots of streets, and there's lots of people that feel the same way. But most small-town people are live and let live people, don't want to complain. It's like when I used to come here a long time ago, and Walter Mammal was always here, and he was labeled a complainer. And I don't really want to be a complainer, but there is the alternate side. I mean, we spend all this money getting all these wells, bringing all these people in, and there's an impact on all of us. And if we suck all these aquifers dry, what are our children and grandchildren going to do? And do I even want them to live here anymore? Or are there better places to move? Because our town is being lost. And it's done a little bit at a time, one well at a time. And I'm not necessarily against growth, but why aren't these contractors paying for these wells? Why are we all paying for it? Are we all going to get cheaper water rates and more secure water? No, it's going away. Wells are drying up. All the people with private wells are being burdened by having to drill wells, and there's a lot of consequences. It looks fun to build this big project, but in the end, where are we going? Are we maintaining our wonderful town? And everybody says, well, if you don't like it, move somewhere else. Okay, well, where's my hometown going to be? This is it. This is where I grew up, riding my 10-speed down Main Street to baseball practice. I mean, have our kids try that these days. It's lost. Our clean air is being lost. Our water security is being lost. We're supplementing right now.
Thank you, yeah.
Anyway,
I appreciate it. I do understand your dilemma. I fear for the future, because I think when they are rebuilding overpasses and everything up Ridge Road, I'm sorry, it is right, but Mr. Phillips is also correct. His is a city street, and it's going to do it. And, you know, we can try and control the speed on it, but it's hard to control the numbers, preventing people from actually driving. And your other comments about the size of the city, I'm sure there's 50% of this town that wishes it wouldn't grow anymore, because now they just moved here.
yeah, there's that too.
And so, you know, I don't blame people for wanting to live in Cedar City. It's where I want to live, and we're trying to work on the quality of life. But the first step, in my opinion, the quality of life is having water for these people who come. And honestly, those of us have been around for a very long time here. You know, we've benefited from Wichita. We've had beautiful water for a long time that came up a great big pipeline. Hooray, hooray. But the aquifer's dropping, has been dropping for 50 years. And we have to deal with that. We have to deal with it. We have the people, and we have to make sure we're able to provide water. And we do charge the developers a lot. They have to bring water or pay a very high price. And
the impact fees.
and the impact fees and for their water
Well,
acquisition.
I hope it's enough.
It's a lot.
But
And
some of
we
that-
need to spend, and we're doing that, and we are spending that. And that's, you know, we get the money to do all these things we're doing. And it is big. It's overwhelming.
Well, I see the same trucks and cars speeding 30, 35.
And you know, that maybe can
40
be
miles
fixed
an
by a
hour.
policeman who parks there on your road.
So it must
Maybe
be the
that would
neighborhood
do it.
kids if they're coming and going. I don't want to blame it on the kids, but if it's the same cars, you'd think they're going to their home, right? Just,
There's 2 or 3 of them. And I don't know, I've motioned people, slow down. And I have people come and confront me and gonna beat me up. And one kid, I talked to him and, you know, and I said, he lived just down the street. And I said, you're not setting an example. You know, I don't know.
Sure.
Turned out to be a friend when I was, you know,
Yeah.
I'm not just,
No, we do understand,
I am
and
standing up for
your complaint is
what's
well
right.
taken, Shane, but
and it's
we
not
do
just
need to
Ridge
move, we
Road.
do need to move on. I usually allow 3 minutes for this kind
Okay.
of a discussion. I think we passed that.
It's not just Ridge Road, it's the whole town.
It's everywhere.
And I know we didn't have even one enforcement officer for traffic. I don't know what there is now, but the millions of dollars we're talking about, some of it could be spent keeping our town safe.
We do spend a very large amount of our budget there, trust me,
Well,
for just that exact thing.
Thank you, Shane.
Thank you.
thank you.
Any other
Shane.
public comments tonight? And I am not very good with the stopwatch. Thank you, we'll move on. Public agenda then. Number 1, a public hearing to consider a request to waive park and other fees associated with the July Jamboree. Rob O'Brien,
Thank you, Mayor.
the Rotary Club here today.
I did. I'm Rob O'Brien. I am here on behalf of the Cedar City Rotary Club, along with my fellow Rotarians, Judy O'Brien, Sue Longson, and Paul Longson. And thank you for allowing us to come. Appreciate you, Kent, getting this up for us, and Renan putting this in the packet. So, Councilman, I believe that you have a packet here in an effort to try and get Councilman Phillips to his 7 o'clock meeting. We're going to go.
He'll go, but we won't be done.
The purpose
This will
of
go on
this.
for hours.
The purpose of this is we are trying to present material to the city council regarding a commitment that was made as a sponsor for the July Jamboree. We've done that historically for years, more than I know, and the city has participated as a in-kind sponsor. We have 2 types, community businesses or individuals that actually sponsor cash money or in-kind trade services. And the city has historically done the in-kind trade. And what we'd like to do is walk you through what that means, what they get back as a sponsor, whether it's an in-kind or a cash sponsor. And this year, for the first time, after we had that agreement to have the city be a in-kind sponsor, I had some contact from the city about paying for some services that are outlined in here, $1,200 fee for the park use of the city's Main Street Park and setting up the stage for the band. And then later, a week or so later, a charge that was an invoice submitted to the city for $780 for the electrical support for the bathrooms, the bouncy houses, and all the events. So what we'd like to do is walk you through that and show you what the city gets in return as a sponsorship to help you see that it's money well spent and the benefits it's given to you. I'm sure the city is approached daily, weekly by many, many people saying, hey, fund my event. So we don't go down a slippery slope for you of saying, well, we'll grant the Rotary Club, but we can't do this. We want to show you why this grant makes more sense and that you're getting more than $2,000 worth of return onto that $2,000 commitment.
so just to clarify, it's not a request to waive then, it's a request to provide value going both ways and to trade one value for another, because we've been pretty consistent on not waiving fees.
Correct.
But you're going to show us how there's value on both sides of this going both ways.
Yes, sir, correct.
And there's value going both ways, so we're not waiving it.
We hope that you get a whole lot more value than $2,000.
So that's a blurry line if you're talking about using our people and our labor to satisfy the sponsorship. It amounts to a very blurry line between a sponsorship and a waiver. For years, we've told our staff, we don't waive fees. If you have budget and you want to if there's certain operations with budget money that wants to sponsor somebody, you can spend that budget money, but we're not gonna waive fees for park reservations or stage setup or anything like that, because that's been our direction from the council, is we don't waive fees.
Correct, and so my point is that they could write a check to the city and the city could write it back for the sponsorship, right? That is my point with it, so.
No, it doesn't quite work like that. The sponsorship money has to be in a budget authorized for that purpose beforehand.
I get that.
Whatever we receipt from, whether it's the Rotary Club or the 4-H Club or any other club that's renting a facility from us, it doesn't automatically get rolled back over so it can go back out.
I understand that, but he's gonna tell us, what they got out of the sponsorship, right?
Yeah, I don't know how the working process within the budget. Historically, there has not been any charges presented to the Rotary Club associated to the Jamboree. So this year was different. So we're just trying to understand what changed. And I agree with you. It's got to be in somebody's budget. It just determine who and where.
Our Parks Division's pulled up historic invoices that have been paid by Rotary for the same purposes. So they'll present those in a minute.
Yeah, that's news to me, but let's see.
Okay.
This invoice here is a copy of the invoice that was submitted by Bradshaw Electric, who did the electrical support to the event. And then this was shared with us as an additional expense that I don't know that the city had anticipated this either.
Mr. O'Brien, can I ask you, right here, what did they do? What did Bradshaw Electric do?
Great question. They come and they provide service, human resources. There was 2 people from Bradshaw, and they set up all the electrical support in the area next to Great Harvest Bread, which is where the restrooms are located. Rather than outhouses there, it's a trailer, and that requires power, so they set that up and pull power from a utility vault from one of the islands. And in the park itself, Main Street Park, they provide electrical splitters that provide electricity to all those booths for the food services, the bouncy houses.
Yeah.
One of the things that they did above and beyond the call of duty, in my opinion, the pavilion that is just by Hermes on the northwest corner, they were drawing power from that. Some of the participants and the panel had blown out. Bradshaw had no association with that at all. And a year ago, when we donated the $25,000 for the upgrade to the city, that was not included in our work. The city was aware of that, and Anthony Pearson said, oh, we know that's happened. So Bradshaw actually jumped in to repair that and get it operational. So that services, I'm not sure that is a line item charge, but those are some of the expenses they incurred. They had 2 people here for 10 hours.
So is the trailer a new thing this year, or is this not the first year you've had the trailer?
No, last year it was located in the similar area, but honestly, it was too far back. It was back behind Holmes Barbershop, and we're not sure that everybody really knew it was there. So this year, to try and have continuous improvement, we pulled it up right along Main Street between the Chinese restaurant and Great Harvest Bread. And,
So they didn't send you a bill last year to hook up the
No,
trailer,
sir.
but this year they did. Okay.
This is a copy of the sponsorship agreement that talks about what do the sponsors get for their contribution, whether it's an in-kind trade or cash. So it talks about the different levels, and the city had agreed to be a signature sponsor at $2,000. So this line item, I won't go through the whole punch list, but it's mostly marketing, promotion, goodwill services, stories in the newspaper, story at the power electrical signboards on the north and south end of the city. It's a lot of goodwill and basically to try and promote the businesses that participate as sponsors. So we treat the businesses and in this case the city equally. We want them to all get the benefit of having this event take place. So we want to show, and we'll show you here, we believe we provided all of these advantages to the city.
I have a question though. Who officially signed off on the sponsorship? I mean, who agreed from the city standpoint? Paul, do you know?
I would imagine it was Ken, but I don't know.
Like, do we have a signed sponsorship agreement?
Not that I'm aware of.
We have a sponsorship form that we ask the sponsors to fill out and sign and acknowledge that, yes, I'm going to be, we do have a copy of that.
Do we have one from the city?
We do.
Who signed it?
Brandon Burke.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
So if Brandon wants to take $2,000 out of his events budget and buy a sponsorship from Rotary, that's fine. But Brandon doesn't have the ability to start waiving parks fees and trailer fees and all these other fees that the council's established as the going rate for use of our facilities.
Got it.
It just doesn't work that way.
Okay?
Get that, but we can amend the budget, and if he's willing to do it, then.
You guys can waive the fees if you want.
Well,
Yeah,
so,
but we don't want to go down that road. We've been pretty.
well, if Brandon had agreed to have that come out of his budget, then.
Then we
could
pay them,
not
they
just-
pay us.
Yeah.
Done deal.
Yeah, that's the cleanest, that's in
Yeah.
line with our
I'm not,
policy and everything.
I don't know
else.
historically how it's been handled,
Yeah.
but this is the first time that there's ever been charges presented to the Rotary Club that I'm aware of. You mentioned that there might have been some in the past. I'm not aware of them for the last 4 years. So this was different, so that's really why we're here, is what's changed.
Sure. And also, and I'm only going to mention this because I got to step out, but because my understanding has always been, because there were some questions with another event that takes place at the park, and they kind of had to switch weekends. So I've kind of gone down this path once a little bit before. And my understanding, what I was told back then, was that the reason we get the sponsorship is because of all the police and all the blocking the road off, and all that was kind of our trade for being a sponsor, was all of our police force that are there. It was kind of between the police department and the July Jamboree was the trade. And that's how we got our sponsorship, was via all that we provide as well.
Good data and good points, and you're spot on. The Cedar City Police Department is also a sponsor, and because they are a city organization, they get priority in selection the dates of the park. So yes, the Cedar City Police Department is on there. That's a separate sponsorship, and we have them shown as a beneficiary of all these benefits as well.
Okay.
The Rotary Club also helps participate as volunteers in the police department to help block off the roads.
Yeah.
This is an example of the poster itself. These posters, I believe there's 200 of them that are placed around the businesses throughout not only Cedar City, but Iron County. So residents see, and the whole objective here is to heighten the awareness in the community, but it's also to reinforce the people to do business with the people that reinvest in this community. I'll say personally, but also on behalf of the Rotary Club, we want to support the businesses that support this community, and we direct people to go to them. So this is one of the promotional efforts to recognize their contributions. And you notice that we've highlighted or circled the Cedar City emblem there. We had, another point we'd like to make is the event continues to grow. So it's bringing value to the city. We had the highest number of sponsors ever. We had 6 additional new participants. And I think this was the highest ever. Some of the sponsors that make the contribution, they don't want to have a booth. They just choose not to do it. So we then donate those booths to nonprofit organizations. So these are good services, women's shelter, child services. So we had 5 NPOs that were here as beneficiaries of sponsors. So not only is it continuing to grow, but we're adding value to the content of the participants. This is, again, some of the highlights. We had 20,000 people, largest sponsorship contribution in the history, or over $100,000, 195 vendors. The sponsors, as I just mentioned, not all of them take booths. So 43 of the 78 took booths. And I bring that up as part of the sponsorship to the city. You get one of the priority selections. Where do you want to be located? So that your booth, Cedar City's booth, was booth number 28, which means nothing to you, but it's basically at the crosswalk right near where the Rotary Club booth is as well. And it's also, that's one of the highlights of the community. It's got the banners for Cedar City. Brandon Burke, I think, Brandon, you were manning that booth? So you and your staff were there? Okay. Part of the benefit marketing to the sponsors is we run 2 full-page ads in the Iron County Today newspaper promoting the event. So this is a picture of the event, and there's a story that says, come and join, be a member of the Cedar City, come and see. And this is actually a free event. So it allows us to bring people from this community to this event for a full day of family-centered fun for free. So they get to come and enjoy the benefits of Cedar City. We've heard tonight about why it's so great to live here. This is a showcase for not only Cedar City, but all the participants. We do that 2 weeks in a row, and I'll call your attention again to the logo for Cedar City is circled there. We also have the same promotional items on the electric signboards on north and south end of town. We also place 40 what we call street walkers. What it is an adhesive poster that's placed on the sidewalks, basically in downtown Cedar City. But we also now, we've expanded to taking these and place them on a lot of the new business on the south end down near Providence Center. They're up 2 weeks prior to the event, and then within a matter of days, when it's over, we go and peel them back up. So there's no demand on services by the city to come pick it up. It's our mess, we clean it up. Where does the money go? 100% of the profits is donated back in, and I've highlighted some of the areas where that money from the proceeds of that $105,000 is put back into the city. Main Street Park upgrade, Canyon Creek Water Park, Cedar City Parks. We work with Kenny Nielsen, and a lot of trees, things to enhance this community. Again, more list of different places where the money, what we're trying to do is show not only the city, any sponsor, that their money from this community is going back into enhancing this community. We want to be good partners with the city. I believe we have, and I think the city's been a good partner with Rotary Club. We have a long history of working together. Picture's worth 1,000 words. Here are volunteers that are handing out food at Fiddler's Elementary. So the first Tuesday of every month, there's food that is distributed to families in need. So this shows where your dollars, community residents' dollars, and business dollars are going back into this community. Trees being planted, more tree planting. Here's food. We gathered 5,000 pounds of food to distribute to people through the Utah Food Bank. So we're trying to spread the money back into the community where it comes from, trying to create goodwill. And as new residents, we know a lot of historical generational families. We came here because this is the greatest place in the United States. We love it here. We want it to be as good for our children as it's good for us. Here's more efforts to distribute the money that the sponsors contribute. It goes into hygiene kits for the teens in Iron County. Here's an overhead view that shows the most recent completed large park enhancement, the water park. This is at the end of the event. We send a full page ad in the Iron County Today newspaper, and in the upper left-hand corner, you'll see "Thank you, Cedar City." In that article, we specifically call out Mayor Green, city council members, the Parks District. We're trying to acknowledge the community that this takes place in is allowed to do that because of the work that you do. We also, I want to just report, this has nothing to do with this, but it is related. We had, for the second year in a row, 20,000 people in that 95-degree weather from noon until 11 at night. Guess how many call-outs to the police department there was? 0. That's huge. I'm telling you, coming from Chicago, you don't get 20,000 people together for 10 hours in the blazing sun and not have any police events. So that's a testimonial to the police department, the community, and regardless of what the outcome is, there's a shout out to Cedar City. Well done. Our request is, vernacular might not be right. I'm not asking you to waive the charges. We're asking you to redirect the money, the charges that have been presented to the Rotary Club as sponsorship return value for an in-kind trade.
So, Brandon, you want to, I don't think there's any question ever to what the Rotary does for Cedar, and I think it's amazing, and this event obviously is a huge one, but I really think this is somewhat simple here. I mean, were you planning on, what was your thought in this, agreeing to the sponsorship?
Yes, so just for public record, because I know you guys, this is Brandon Burke, by the way, but just for public record, my budget comes from people staying in hotels, and what drives people staying in hotels is events that go on here that draw people from other places. This is one of those events, and I have a budget line specifically in my budget to help recruit other events besides our own. And so my intention as far as sponsorship goes is to put some of that money towards an event that is bringing people in and putting them in hotels and spending money in our community. This event, according to Placer AI, this event did bring about 19,000 people. I mean, not all from other places necessarily, but there were about 19,000 people on that street, according to Placer. So it's, without question, the biggest singular event that happens annually here that draws people. That said, I do think there's a conflict of interest for me taking a side on this particular issue, just because I'm both a Rotarian and a staff member of the city. I see both sides of the situation. I had a meeting this morning with the police department and with the Parks Department and Leisure Services and Streets, and we talked a little bit about some of the numbers that the city is already giving to this event that we don't account for in the in-kind sponsorship. And I know, is the chief here? Yeah. Did you want to talk about numbers, or Eric?
I guess while you're sitting right there,
Yeah.
Brandon, I'm not trying to put you on the spot.
No, you're
but
fine.
Your plan was not to cut a $2,000 check out of your budget for this as a sponsorship.
No, it is an in-kind sponsorship. And so what I'm trying to do is utilize the resources that I do have at my disposal, which in this case is right now, and again, it's out of the kindness of the heads of those departments that we get those in-kind trades, but it's Streets Department, it's the Parks Department who sets up the stage, Streets Department who blocks off the roads, and we don't do that stuff for any other event besides our own in this city. But because we see the benefit, because we see what, Rob is showing us here on the screen, right? We know that they turn around and put a lot of that money back into the city. We know that they draw people here. So there obviously is a benefit to this event happening to the city that is above and beyond $2,000. But I think it's also important for them to know what those costs are.
I don't dispute anything that Rotary is claiming and all the benefits they provide, but it's the council's decision to give away our things and our cash. You give every year hundreds of thousands of dollars to Southern Utah University and various different donations, whether it's Shakespeare or summer games, whether it's, gee whiz, I can't think of the rest right now. And they contribute to the city as well, but that's always a council decision. Staff's job is to take, you've set a fair market value for those things, and we just can't give them away. Right. If you guys want to give them away, great, but it's not up to staff to give those things away.
A lot of those distributions you're talking about, though, came from a special voter-approved tax through the RAP tax, whether it's recreation, arts, or parks. Not all of it, but most of that stuff comes through a voter-approved tax.
There's a huge amount through the general fund that goes to SUU.
In way of what?
I'm sorry, that's out of the TRT fund.
There you go.
It's out of the TRT fund and the RAP tax fund.
If I can make one clarifying point. Brandon.
What's your name?
David Johnson, Economic Development Events is in my department. Brandon is not saying that he was waiving the stage fees or waiving fees. He was simply saying there are other means in which the city contributes that would constitute more than $2,000, and that's what these gentlemen are going to present on, those numbers. But I just want to make sure it's clear that Brandon wasn't indicating that he, as a staff member, is choosing to waive fees in behalf of the council or the city, but rather there's in-kind sponsorships in other ways that we do maybe with some of the other events, and I think that's what we're getting to.
I'm going to step out, but I mean, just my leaving thought on this would be, as you guys continue to talk about this, it doesn't seem, I think, we're all in agreement probably that we're not going to be waiving any fees. So the only way to, in my opinion, complete this request is one of the budgets. I mean, essentially, we're being asked to some budget somewhere to cut them a $2,000 check for them to turn around and cut part of it back to us and part of it back to Bradshaw Electric. If that's not what we're going to do, then that's really the only, because waiving the fee is also not an option either.
I think.
And we can't waive Bradshaw's fees. I mean, that's on
Well,
Bradshaw. So.
we've got a couple issues in front of
Thanks,
us,
guys.
right? First of all, a lot of the, government transparency, liability, all that stuff that has changed over the last 30 years for the better, right?
now means a lot of this kind of stuff is under a lot more scrutiny than it used to be, right? We can't have city staff on the city's time and dime go out and do a lot of the things they used to do just because that's what the city used to do back, decades prior. We need to have something formal, something transparent, something that's out in the open to show that we're not favoring one group or one interest over another, right? That being said, I mean, we had a similar-ish discussion with summer games 2-3 years ago.
About almost the same time.
A venture that, in large part, that the city was a huge factor in getting that started, right? So I think really the issue, yes, we have the issue right in front of us today, but long-term, we probably need some kind of more formalized, quantified, call it a sponsorship agreement, whatever that is, that says this is what the city is providing as part of that in the future. And I think we're all very open to that as a council. That's our job. As staff, you have to operate within the parameters that we give. As far as this particular issue, I would agree with Mr. Wilkie. I mean, it's hard after the fact as government to go in and then, kind of change up things that are in violation of our policy. But I think we need to find some money somewhere because we didn't authorize, we didn't, as far as what was provided in kind for that sponsorship. So we need to find some money somewhere to cut a check to Rotary for what we agreed, $2,000. And then I would hope Rotary would pay Bradshaw. That's kind of a weird one as far as who authorized the labor and all that, right? And then would also pay the city for the stage setup and takedown. That's where I'm leaning on how to approach this today, and then going forward, we need to have something a little more formalized for future years.
That's what I would pretty much along the same line of agreement.
I mean, as
That's
well,
what I was talking
I
about.
cannot philosophically flip-flop on waiving the fees, because we have told so many people no.
Yeah.
As much as I love what you do, I could not vote to waive the fees. I'll just.
Just
be
yesterday,
completely honest.
the Veterans Coalition came to me because they were having a large event, and these are all the folks that do all of our work for Wreaths Across America. They do all the funerals, they do flag raisings, they do the Veterans Day program, and they asked to have their fees waived at the city park, and we said no.
And we've turned down
Sorry.
4-H groups, and we've turned down, you name it. I
And
mean, on the fees.
just recently in 2023, when we did the large railroad celebration, we paid the stage setup that the Parks Department did. So, it's difficult to go backwards on that, and I would agree with you, Councilman. We can't change that. So, yeah.
Come on, hold on.
Ken Nelson with Leisure Services. So our department just is doing the consistency thing that we always do. We charge for the stage, we charge for parks, we charge for pavilions, and anybody that asks, we say, it's not ours to give away, and you're welcome to go to city council.
Yeah.
And that way, we stay out of the weeds, and everybody is above course on it. So Ken, if you would just click for a few things that Renan put in, I think there's some invoices from previous years in the packet. You might have saw those. So those invoices that you see are Rotary paying the stage in previous years.
7/7/21.
2021.
So Dolly was a Rotarian, and she paid for the stage. So us charging the stage is not new. We've always charged the stage. And so you see that she paid, the fees of the stage increased, but it still was paying the stage. So
But
it's
they
not
probably
a new,
didn't run through the Rotary Club where maybe the disconnect is, correct?
so
Was she paying
it's
that?
not a new concept on our end
Correct,
to charge
correct.
for the stage. We're just charging for the stage. We do not charge for all of Eric's guys and all his work that totals $3,000, and all of Anthony's guys and work that's another $3,000. And we do that as an in-kind thing because we understand. But the park reservation and the stage, we always charge. So we're just being consistent with that. That is not ours to give away. So however it works, we're not involved in the sponsorship or any of those things. We're just bringing it saying, we're
This
just
is
trying
what
to
you
be
were told to
consistent.
do.
We're just trying to be consistent. If it's the high school, the school district, we charge. Heritage will use the stage out for their livestock. Guess what? They get charged. So it's just our world. And then if they have some process to come and appeal it to you, then you folks make that decision, not us.
And I don't think we're trying to diminish anything that you guys have done or do.
No,
It is, the community comes together and it's a great event.
Sure, absolutely. We just are trying to be consistent. So baseball tournaments say, hey, you gave Rotary a free
It's a
free
slippery slope.
park and
We
stuff.
get
So
it.
we're not into that kind of thing. Yeah, sure.
So Eric Witzke, Street Department. So we want to point out that we are providing services for that event that do not get paid. And we're not asking for that, but we need you guys to understand that there is a monetary value to what the city's already doing. Solid waste takes 4 operators to just collect the garbage, set the cans out, pick the cans up, collect the garbage in the evening. We're doing that well after hours after that is cleaned up. Street department's cleaning it with street sweepers before and after the event.
Which we appreciate, thank you.
But I want you to understand that.
No,
you know,
totally
there's-
understand.
So, Ken told you there's a $3,000 amount. It's probably on the light end. I'm not even factoring in message boards, the time it's taken to set those up. All of this is on our fee schedule. So I just want you to understand that there is monetary value that the city is providing for this event, and it is growing every year, and it's getting to the point where it's actually getting to be a bit much. So we really need to start thinking along those lines, and if we need to start changing the way we do some of the things for these events, we might need to do that. When it goes back to traffic control, the police department handles that. We do not handle that.
Right behind you.
Okay. Darren, you go talk. Okay, I'll let him.
Darren Adams with the police department. Just so you're aware of our involvement, as Eric said, our VIPs close the streets. And for us, it's a little bit different in that we, in addition to IRMA's requirement that we have community outreach activities, this is one of 3 major ones that we do every year. So even though we have somebody there working the booth all day and the VIPs are involved in the traffic control, that's a benefit, obviously, to us and our outreach and community relationship building. We reserve the park. It's $200. That's an item that we pay out of our budget or can pay out of our budget. But for us, it's more we are there for ourselves and the community as much as we are for Rotary. So I just wanted to make sure that was clear if there's any questions. Okay, thank you.
I think these are all things that we need to have detailed and quantified for a future agreement.
I agree. Maybe the primary issue here is, had we had this discussion prior to the event.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be having this
we
discussion.
wouldn't have this discussion.
Yeah.
And there is no doubt we benefit, the city benefits, Rotary Club, and every resident in this community benefits from this event. And I hope that the takeaway from this is, let's be partners and manage this rather than react to an event that's happened, $2,000 is $2,000. But it's important that we establish the correct precedents going forward.
Sure.
What are we going to do that is defendable by you to say we treat people fairly that provide the same services? I will add, the 4th of July parade that's led by the Lions Club and the city, historically, all that cleanup work has been done by the Rotary Club. Because we come behind that and clean that up so that our people that come to the July Jamboree the following weekend don't have to stand in all the debris. So that was news to me actually it was news to me that the Lions Club didn't have anybody participating. So I know Eric's team sent out a street sweeper. What I did after I learned that, we've been doing that since we've lived here, and I don't know how long, the Rotary Club comes behind and cleans up that 4th of July parade. I know someone in in the Lions Club, Mark Nelson, who we've worked with on other community events. And I said, hey, Mark, how about this? And he said, I don't know. I guess the city cleans that up. And I said, well, actually, it's the city and the Rotary Club. So what Mark did is he said, let me rally and see if I can get some Lions Club people to come help you. They did. So here's a case where two community organizations, the Lions Club and the Rotary Club, both working together to help the community, but they didn't know that we were doing it.
Sure.
So going forward, we'll now have participation from the Lions Club to help clean up the parade after the 4th of July parade. So continuous improvement, and we're bringing teams together, whether it's city and volunteer organizations or volunteer and volunteer organizations.
So I have a question for Brandon. I'm not saying all, but is there some in your budget that you could use to offset this?
Yeah.
And then we can have a discussion going forward.
No, I can totally do that. My main reason, so like I said, I mean, I wasn't even going to speak tonight, but I did want to make sure, you know, that's why I had this meeting this morning, and I've been talking to Rob, and I just want to make sure that, like, all of the information is out there for everybody, so that, like, the city understands all of the benefits from Rotary and July Jamboree, but also that July Jamboree understands everything that they're getting from the several departments here. As far as a resolution to things for this year, I'm more than happy. I have that event recruitment budget that I was talking about earlier. I can write that check out of that for sure, if that's all right with everybody here. But moving forward, I think you're right. We do need to kind of figure out, and it's something we addressed last year, and I'd like to kind of follow up on that a little bit, but is what these relationships are with some of these larger events, because I think it behooves my department to be involved and make sure that they can be successful when they bring in this many people.
Yeah, and any event of this size, I think, I do think it's worthwhile to allocate city resources to. We just need to make sure
there's an understanding.
Yeah,
for sure.
Exactly.
Rob, would you please send an invoice?
We'll do whatever you want.
Could you please send us an invoice so our accounting is clean on the payment?
Would you want that invoice to be for the
Sponsorship.
dollars or,
Just the
2,000.
sponsorship.
The sponsorship.
Whatever the
sponsorship.
sponsorship value is.
and then who will pay, Brandon?
We'll figure that out.
Yeah, we'll.
Oh,
Just send us the invoice.
We'll give you what you need to help rectify and resolve.
Thank you.
So we will commit. If you want us to write you a check, if you'll write us a check, we'll send it back, but someone's got to pay off
Bradshaw.
Bradshaw Electric, because that invoice currently is addressed to the city.
Do we need to have a public hearing on this, Mayor?
it looks like we do.
Yes, let's do that.
Let's do it,
Action
please.
Next week.
We're on item 1.
We're on
Thank you.
public hearing, excuse me, we haven't opened the
further
public
questions?
hearing.
Thank you.
Is that what we're supposed to be doing?
Can I ask one more question?
Oh.
Who asked Bradshaw to come out there? Was that the city? Was that the Rotary Club? Was that somebody? I don't, because talking to my guys, they're saying they never called Bradshaw to come out.
I understand the question. I'm trying to answer correctly. We had been contacted by the Parks Department saying, hey, what's the deal for the setup for the electric? And where are all the spider boxes and where are all the information? And I said, well, we donated that to the city. We don't really have any responsibility over that anymore. That's your equipment. And I learned from Jared Bradshaw, I called him, I said, where is it? And he says he thinks it's in the parking garage, and he met there with Anthony Pearson. So they got that all set out, and then Anthony showed up, and he supplied, the name will come to me, I'm having a senior moment, one of your guys.
Yeah.
And he was there, and the service was outstanding. So Bradshaw had 2 people there all day long to roll out that equipment that had been donated to you the year before. This, I don't know if that answered your question, so we did not call them to action.
Okay.
I responded to an inquiry that came from Anthony Pearson, says, where is the stuff and how do we set it up?
That's more information than I had 10 minutes ago. Thank you.
Communication's imperative. I will, and this is maybe not appropriate, I'm gonna do this anyways. Ken Nielsen told me that you guys, the city actually charges a fee for that electrical equipment that was put out, that we donated, the Rotary Club donated to you the year before. And I said, I think that's fantastic. You should. To go out and put that equipment into service and use the human resources to set it up, you should be charging for that, because as it gets wear and tear, you should be accruing reserves to be able to pay to replace it. the amount that he told me, it's your deal. It's not what I would do. $100.
For all the spider boxes?
Yeah, for the setup. So if it's gonna be $100, we'll pay $100. I don't think it's the value of that is a heck of a lot more than $100. So.
Remind me the total contribution of the Rotary Club to the electrical in that park. Not that it matters, but just.
25 grand.
25,000,
Yeah.
yeah.
25.
And that equipment, over the years, is gonna take wear and tear, and at some point, you're gonna wanna replace it, and here's a chance to accrue money from people that are actually getting the benefit, whether it's this event or any other event that takes place in the park that requires electricity.
We need to open the public hearing.
Yes.
Yeah,
If
raise
we
your
may-
fee.
Yeah, Rob, if we may. So this is a public hearing. We've heard from lots of folks, but are there lots of other folks that would like to? And I will be limiting this to a couple of minutes. if
Step
they're-
up there, Anthony.
Except the city employees, and they can talk as long as they want.
Anthony Pearson, Parks Department. I just wanted to clarify, I never called Bradshaw to come and work the club. I did reach out to Rob to ask about spider boxes. I never received any when they were released to the city. And that's when we found them in the parking garage, so I just wanted to.
Do you have them now?
I'm not sure if they got put back in the parking garage or what, so.
Let's follow
That's
up on
something
that.
we're gonna need to follow up on and make sure that we have full ownership of those, so.
Thank you.
Thank you. Further public hearing, folks? Seeing none, close the public hearing.
Mayor, I move we put this on action next week.
Thank you. I agree. Item number 2, public hearing to consider resolution approving a development agreement related to public improvements on Westview Drive for the property in the vicinity of 1800 Westview Drive.
Good evening, Dallas Buckner, Go Civil. This is a development agreement. We came before council, I think when we first turned in construction drawings on 4B Phase 5. Originally, we had approached council as a deferral agreement. Working through the process with staff and talking with Randall for what the developer's proposing, a deferral agreement wasn't the right tool. So we are proposing a fee in lieu of those improvements. And so a development agreement is what we're putting before you. We took this before Planning Commission, received a positive recommendation. Basically what it boils down to is Westview is a master plan 100-foot right-of-way. Developers required to build the equivalent of a 55-foot right-of-way, so asphalt widening, curb gutter, sidewalk, and then the additional width the city reimburses for. And so what we did is we took the project frontage times that lineal cost of the widening to the 55-foot equivalent from the existing condition, put numbers to it, had engineering review it, and we put together this. And the only other part is that the developer wants to put in a deceleration lane at his own cost. And so we're putting that in with Phase 5. So in some sense, we're kind of double paying for that asphalt that's being widened for the decel lane. But this is a way for us to make the developer and the city whole for Phases 1 through 5 for the Westview improvement portion.
So you said that engineering reviewed this. I guess the only question that I would have for the city is because there's still, as we all know, many right-of-ways to be obtained and a lot of information to be worked out between the county and the city. So this could be 3 years, 5 years, 8 years, 10 years. But once we have the sum of money, that is the sum of money we have.
Right, but it's their choice, obviously, to do it, but their money in, not get the benefit. It surprises me a little.
Yeah, I
Don't get the benefit of it going forward.
in a lot of ways, I actually prefer that though, even if that cost goes up over time, because otherwise what we're gonna end up with is a very short segment of widened, improved frontage that now we're on the hook to maintain. They can't really be used because nothing north of it's gonna be improved or widened for many years. The other side of the road won't be either. It'll be overgrown with tumbleweeds, or rabbit brush, not tumbleweeds. Yeah, I'd rather we just have the cash and we do that as part of the, once that road is ready to be improve the rest of the way.
And if we did a deferral agreement, then we lose the teeth. If they decide, hey, we're never developing here again, then
Sure.
we get nothing.
Yeah.
Well, in this way,
so-
phases 1 through 5 are complete, and Mr. Meisner can move on and go on to.
Now, are there, with that, I was wondering, and I didn't see it, but I didn't look super closely in the minutes. Are there, because I know the developer at one point was wanting to put some improved lots on that frontage. Is that still contemplated as part of this?
Yeah, it would be. I mean, so before the ordinance that's currently in place, we were trying to move forward, and there was a lot of, there was uncertainty on what the road was going to look like. Was it going to be 75? This was back when Kit was here. Was it going to be 75? Was it going to be 100?
Yep.
How it was going to be offset? And so we moved forward, but when we had done that, in order to move forward, we had provided an exhibit to the city showing that we had legitimate buildable lots within the RE zone. And so at some point that is a possibility I mean, it's just a strip along Westview that is big enough. I don't know how many lots. It's probably 6 or 7 because with it being 100 foot, you have to have circular driveway.
Is that why there would be that turning lane, is so that those lots are buildable? I didn't quite grasp that.
No, so the decel lane is just because he wants to have a turnout for people entering into the subdivision.
I see.
So he's not stopping traffic
And
coming
there's just,
down off a hill.
the more homes you get in there, it's better to have that, so you have easier
Right.
flow in and out of it, sure.
Yep.
Yeah, and one of the things that you guys are going to have to understand is that we're not guaranteeing a time frame as to when that road will come in.
Yeah.
So those lots, potential lots, it's still just one, but those potential lots, you may not be able to until we put the road in. And again, we're not committing a timeline, so that could make some difficult situations. Some of those, depending on how you split it up as well, you hit to the north end, there's going to be a very large change in grade.
Yeah.
That's going to be a difficult driveway.
They
So
almost
that's
need it.
another concern that we'll have to look at when we get there, or you guys will have to work with us on getting there. But yeah, we can't guarantee a timeline, so those may sit vacant for a while.
Yeah.
Or have some kind of private shared driveway access or something. I mean, it's going to be tricky.
This is your
But
flag lots.
they're not lots.
Right. Well,
They don't exist.
Right,
Until they
exactly.
subdivide them, they don't
Yep.
exist.
Yeah.
Yep.
So to say that you gave us a map sometime with a drawing on it showing something vests you in nothing.
Oh,
There-
I'm not
there's
expecting
nothing
any
there.
vesting.
And I think that's what we're
Yeah.
getting at, is just, on this, we're not agreeing to those being buildable or having access or
Right,
anything,
yeah,
right?
no,
And
that's-
I think the developer really would just like to be able to move on with the other phases and a
Right,
change
yeah,
in the market,
That's completely
maybe.
100% our intent. It's not to
Yeah.
say we're vested for anything at
Yeah.
all.
So I think as long as, I actually prefer this solution much more to just about anything else. And frankly, I don't want you guys improving that, widening that segment either until the rest of the road is.
Yeah, that was our perspective too, is that it just seems like it's infrastructure that's gonna sit for
Yeah.
however long.
Ever.
So,
Could be.
yeah, because there's a lot of right of way to Old Sorrel, until you get back
Yeah.
to city,
Yep.
so.
All right.
So again, we're going to open a public hearing on this. Go ahead. You might be the one.
My name's Craig Thompson. I moved here 4 years ago.
Well, you did not.
I did. I left before. Hey, I'm on Westview Drive myself. And personally, I think you need to improve it now. If the money there and the agreement was there to start with to widen that road, we need to do it now. We have people coming down off that hill way too fast. You're stopping there, slamming on brakes. There's no place to turn off. There's no place to park your vehicle on that. We need to start developing it, taking care of it now. Not next year, not 10 years from now when we get a government grant to do it. It needs to start being now for the public safety of the people that live out there. There's more people moving in every day, and we've got semis that are going way too fast, all kinds of outfits out there, and it needs to be widened. I've heard a line that, well, somebody's going to go out around somebody too fast. This is what somebody on the planning commission is telling everybody, that one of the excuses why they're not wanting to do it. No, you put the lines up, yeah, you're going to have people go around illegal anyway. But it's a very dangerous road out there. We are very blessed so far that nobody's been hurt real bad. I've had rear enders right in front of my house, and I'm back up in the county. I'll admit to it, I'm up the county more. But it's a bad situation out there, and it needs to be improved now. If the money's there for it, as soon as the power company gets finished running their, looping their lines and moving them transformers in where they're doing it, I think the road needs to be widened at that time.
Are you in Cross Hollows, sir?
No, I'm on Westview Drive, 1129 Westview Drive.
Thank you.
I'm not Cross Hollows. I'm in Cross Hollows subdivision, HOA, but no, I'm on Westview itself. I'm one of the few people that live on there that actually dare step up and say something.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other public comments on this item, please?
Lance Pearson, Viking Excavation, formerly of Precision Contractors. I was a project manager for 4B, phases 1 through 3, as well as Old Sorrel Ranch, phases 1, where we had multiple tie-ins to Westview. And I think moving forward, probably the best course of action is to wait until you guys can get a cohesive plan together and have that road as a continuous improvement as one. One of the problems with Old Sorrel Ranch was that as you come out of the entrance on the north end, you're going to have a super elevate coming around that tight corner around the College Farm. That road kind of it was kind of a problematic solution that we got. And as you guys are improving bit by bit, you're going to start having to puzzle everything back together. Another problem is storm drainage, water runoff. Until the city gets a more cohesive plan to get all that collected and ran. I was just putting my 2 cents in. I think it'd be a lot better if you guys just waited and held off till you could get something put together as one as a whole.
Okay.
Instead of just patchwork quilting it together.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Appreciate it. Any other public comments on this item? Close the public hearing.
Let's put this on action, Mayor.
On action, thank you. Thanks, folks. Item number 3, consider public hearing to consider ordinances for a general plan change for the medium-density residential to high-density residential and a zone change from central commercial and annex transition AT to dwelling multiple units R3M for property located in the vicinity of 200 West, 3530 North. Mr. Platt.
Mike Platt, Platt Engineering. I've missed you guys.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you're here a lot tonight. So
I've got a lot for tonight. Yeah, so just like Mr. Pittman said, yeah, we're looking for a general plan and zone change for this parcel right here. This is our old farm phase 2, 3, and 4 subdivision. This is the Cascade Springs apartments they've already built. We're just bringing it into an R3 zone. So took it to the planning commission. So I don't know what else we want to know. We did the traffic, we did the, we did the engineering studies as requested. Those were submitted, so.
And the density matches the master plan.
No, as we're doing a
No.
general plan,
No.
general plan change.
Okay.
It's R22.
And I should say, I'll
When I say the master plan, the infrastructure will support what
Yeah.
what they're
Kent, was there any
proposing. Yeah.
red flags with the engineer studies?
Gotcha.
No, there weren't any red flags on this.
That means
and
the
so we're-
infrastructure would support it, yeah.
Yeah, we're supportive of this change.
I'm just trying to orient myself because I thought we did one of these. Is that just for the parcel immediately to the east?
This
I want to say a
parcel
few
right
years
here.
ago. Yeah. Okay. That was the one we changed when they were continuing that project? Okay.
Now, aren't those on the south there along 2530, aren't those aren't those residential single homes right there?
yes, but they are in the county. They're that, whatever the county zone
Oh
is,
my
right there.
gosh.
So yeah, those are in the
Maps.
county with possible, obviously, annexation in the future. If you were to compare it to our zoning, you're looking at RE almost, or what we general plan it for medium.
So is everything, am I seeing this correctly? So everything to the west is general planned high density?
Medium.
Can you pull up the general plan map, please, Kent?
I think
Thank you.
medium until you get to 2,400.
No, well, just that label says high on the,
Is that the proposed, or is that what it actually is?
this is the current zoning.
We're in annex transition right now. This is all in the county.
Plan.
Okay, yeah, the orange is medium, okay.
And it's just on the outside of the airport approach. I know you had quite a discussion in Planning Commission on this, didn't you? I mean, there
Yes,
was
we did.
a lot of back and forthing on this. I'm really torn on this because there is so much R3 around it. I mean, I've been out there and I've seen those apartment complexes and there's people in them. But I also feel for the people out there in the old farm and different places about being surrounded. It's weird that we have that one commercial piece in the middle of all of this. You know, it is what it is, that sliver, I guess. When they changed that interstate, it just, the off-ramp, it just changed all of this whole
I agree.
long-range plan problem for us.
Is that high density to the south? Is that what I'm seeing, that we have that little commercial
I think it
corridor
is.
and then it's high density outside of that?
Correct.
Yeah, I think it is.
Then you have high density down the road of the west a ways.
Yeah, they're just out off of 2,400?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Boy, they're taking their sweet time
Only the
developing
few
that.
lots that are in the county are not.
Yep, yep.
Everything else is.
I don't have any questions on it, I just really question if it's the right.
This is a
thing or not.
public hearing. Should we open the public hearing, see
Yeah.
comments?
Hey, Ann Clark, I have to stand up for this, and
You needed a rest. We're going to need a rest.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I appreciate the Platts. I think they've made, I know Mike Platt has done some things with roads so that to compromise for people, just like Phil Schmidt. And I haven't seen that really in the 3.5 years I've been coming to city council. So I really appreciate what they're doing when they try to compromise on a situation. But here's the problem. We've got to follow the general plan. And if we don't, then we have a hodgepodge mess. Built into the general plan is enough high density. So what's ending up happening to Cedar City is we have the big expensive houses and all high density housing. If we require developers to have single-family, smaller homes, but see, they don't have to. They can just go to high density and make more money. Now, I want to say this because I said this at Planning Commission. A few months ago, I asked Don Boudreau, I said, so, Don, how much high-density housing does the state require? Is it a percentage of the houses, a percentage of the population? How much is it? You know what he said to me? I don't know. I said, how can you not know? Because see, here's what the state does. It's like the state government is like the federal government. And they just come down and say, if you don't do this and this and this with the high density, we're not going to give you money. It's a blackmail thing. And we just keep taking it. So here's my suggestion. We've got to come up with some plan, because right now what the state wants is just they want to see rezoning to high density, rezoning to high density. So in essence, what Mike's doing would be fabulous for the state, because they can say we've rezoned. But I think what we need to do is take all of the high density out and then start rezoning back in. And then we can say to the state, hey, we rezoned, we rezoned, we rezoned. But if we keep doing what we're doing, all we're going to have is high-density housing, and the state is demanding it, and I think it's terrible. So in this situation, I want to go, okay, yeah, you know, it's medium to high density, but it's the principle of the thing, and that's what I'm speaking generally about, the principle of the thing. Because if not, you're just going to have high density as far as the eye can see, and the state will never stop asking for more. So we got to think outside the box, and I say rezone everything R1, and then we can go back and say, look, okay, then we can start rezoning it back to high density. Maybe the state will be happy then.
There's a plan. Anyone else? Public comment on this one? Close the public hearing.
Move it to action, Mayor.
Thank you. Item number 4, another public hearing to consider resolution approving a second amendment to the development agreement related to right-of-way of access for property located in the vicinity of 800 North, 3500 West, the Cedar 106.
Yes, we've gone back and forth, Mike Platt with Platt and Platt Engineering. We've gone back and forth with the engineering department we want to vacate the road that we originally dedicated a couple years ago. But in return, we want to give, I want to call it better access through the proposed neighborhoods, if that makes sense. So Kent and I, we've met a couple times. Randall, we've met a couple times. The density is all changing the same. There's no, I mean, the areas may change, but the overall density count's going to stay the same. It's just we're going to give you guys a little bit more access within the neighborhoods. Do we have a picture of the map?
Yeah, probably the map's the most helpful. We've gone around the corner on this project so many times,
Oh,
almost as much as Amy Avenue.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I got a story about that one. So there's the existing road right here, and that's what we want to amend, vacate this portion right in here.
The east-west?
Yeah, this east-west one. When Phil Schmidt built 800 North, he gave some north-south entrances into the development right here. And so what we did along 800 North, he gave some curb cuts, driveway cuts. What we want.
Where did he give you that northwest access? Sorry.
The north access, there's the 3 access points,
Right
I
there.
believe. There's one here, somewhere in that vicinity,
Okay.
right in there. There's 3. And so,
Okay.
and Ken, and I'm glad he brought this to my attention. What we do is give better access to internal neighborhoods at that, whenever the development comes to that stage, and we're not coming back and vacating another road. And then at the same time, we can master plan what we want to do going north and south. So when this piece is developed, it gives access to the north. I mean, that's what we want to do.
So you're asking to vacate that whole?
This from right here
Yeah. All the way from,
to here.
from Lund? Or
No, no, no. This, we got a subdivision coming in right now. This will stay the same.
Okay.
This will stay the same. Just this portion going west. This will stay the same right here. They'll still have an entrance here, so I think we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4. And then as we develop going north, we would just figure out what the best route is and make everybody happy.
That makes more sense. Makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, the thing we were concerned about was having, you know, if he sells off these different pieces and everybody tries to develop their own as an enclave and we don't get any interconnectivity.
Yeah.
And so that was written into the agreement that would have the connectivity between parcels as well as some connectivity to the north.
Right. Yeah. Now, I like that, and frankly, and we see a lot of weird layouts because there's not connectivity, and, you know, that's something I've talked with Don about that we need to look at anyway. Because what we do is we force all of the traffic onto the master planned roads, and then we build them a lot bigger than they need to be, and, you know, the property along those bears a lot of cost that really should be borne by more, and you end up with artificial congestion, all that other stuff. I mean, the old parts of town, we don't get that because there's a lot of interconnectivity, and then that went away. Started with Ray Melling and Kayenta Circle, you know, but it's okay.
Said
I'm
what
not a
he says is
descendant.
true.
He's a great uncle, so. But,
That's Uncle Ray.
anyway, we need to look at that. So I like, as long as we've addressed that aspect of it, I don't see a problem with this at all.
So, and I just want to point out, and I apologize, Mike, if you didn't get, I don't know if you get a copy of the packet that they send out.
Probably not. I didn't see anything.
Okay, I wasn't sure if maybe one was sent or not. Anyway, there were some couple of things that I brought up to the council on this. That's probably a disconnect between you and me. When we initially discussed the road part, that's what I thought the development agreement was originally just going to contain, was the road. What was proposed ended up trying to do what would require a general plan and zone changes. Those would require a separate process.
Yeah, there's more to coming down the pipeline.
More coming soon.
This is just the initial stages, I want to call
Okay,
it.
and that, like I said, the difficulty, like I explained to the council, the difficulty is we don't want a development agreement that approves uses and zones that we haven't actually approved.
Yeah.
Without calling out that we are intentionally allowing a use that isn't there. So I did draft an alternate. You should have 2 versions in your packet of development agreement. So you have the one that's originally drafted by Platt and Platt, and then you have the one that I have. Theirs includes zone changes, there is actually a tiny density change, by the way. You add like 5 units, you
Yes.
know?
Okay, we can go back to.
So
what we
the
were-
second one I have, the second amended is just designed to do the road and connectivity alone. And then we can worry about the other parts of it when it comes through.
I think what I would like to do, if you're okay with this, is you get this in front of you guys today. And then in 2 more weeks, we'll have the next.
Is that your timeline?
And then we'll have the next one, and maybe I hope it's not, maybe it's the first part of October that everything, at that action meeting, or the second week in October, that action meeting, we have the 3 things we need, and we're seeing the big picture.
So that was one of the options I mentioned in my memo to you, was to potentially delay your decision on this until the other items come through. So you could table this, and then we will re-bring it back to you along with those other items.
So, Mr. Platt, I'm making an assumption here, is that basically that, I mean, a lot of the other elements don't really make sense if we can't have this.
Yeah.
Okay, so you just really, in that case, I'm okay piecemealing it, and, because councils change, I mean, we're in the middle of an election year.
'Cause if
So
we-
let's, I would say, yeah,
I'd
let's
rather-
go ahead
I wanna
next
get this
week
in front of you
and,
guys, then get another piece and get another piece, because at the end of the day, we can't vacate that road and create the parcels, because then they're not parcels, they're
Right.
illegal.
Yeah.
So we have to
Yeah.
have everything, but I want to get this in front of you guys, so, hey, we're thinking big picture. I've worked with Kent, got two or three meetings on this, and
yeah, I would say
everybody
let's,
happy.
Well, and this is
going
the
into.
advertised pieces in front of us.
Right, so going into next week, let's just look at the agreement that only deals with this road aspect, and then,
I would agree.
and then that way you can rely on that in
Yeah.
the other elements. That's, I'm okay with that.
Me as
Okay, this is also a public hearing. Is there anyone here in the public that would like to speak to this issue?
Public's about.
Seeing no one, we'll close the public hearing.
Put on action?
Thank you. Item number 5, public hearing again to consider a resolution approving the development agreement related to not installing all public improvements for property located in the vicinity of 1600 West Industrial Road. And you're back up.
yeah, can we, do you have the map? I think a picture will speak volumes here. So Uncle Steve he wants to build an agricultural building. He wants to be able to put his tractor away, his toys away, get them out of the sun for the winter and be done. But in so doing, the city's requiring him to improve the property along his frontage, which,
On an ag building?
on an ag building.
Because you don't have to pull a permit for an ag building according to state statute,
I
correct?
looked that up and there's some stipulations and we don't
Oh, you don't
we don't
qualify,
qualify
okay.
that.
Yeah, lawyers always like to define terms in narrower ways than you would, so they kind of get caught up.
The compromise is, after speaking with Kent, is when they go to subdivide this, they'll put in the improvement, and they're not shying away from that. But they do want to put the improvements in along this frontage piece right there, because that's how Uncle Steve would get his access. And when this subdivision comes by, they would build it out. But at least the frontage improvements right here, the curb, gutter, sidewalk, and whatever we decide on the irrigation box can be improved.
They own that whole piece, correct?
Yeah.
They own this whole piece.
Yeah. So where's the barn gonna be located?
Barns up in this area.
Oh, I see.
At the north portion.
So they're not subdividing or otherwise improving the property beyond that?
Mike, I had heard, and again, you know how the rumor mill runs around here.
Oh, you can't even say that.
That's why I'm asking this question, that this barn was also gonna be used for some kind of commercial purposes.
No.
Okay.
As far as I know,
Yeah.
it's an ag building.
Okay.
And I think Uncle Steve's on the record planning commission saying, hey, it's for his tractors, his toys, to get them out of the sun for the winter.
Does the ditch go away?
Right now with the improvements,
So when the building's built, does the ditch go away?
no, we leave that ditch open. I mean,
Okay, so the building doesn't
the
go
building,
over
yeah,
the
the
top of
building's
the
not gonna be, yeah, we're not gonna put that on top of the ditch. We'll
Okay,
move the building.
just wondering.
I think, isn't the
On the
board president of that, of Old Fort Old Field,
And Sage?
Sage?
I think so.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if they were getting rid of the ditch or not.
No, I think, so,
But the water
They'd have to
still
pipe
runs
it,
through
right?
there.
I mean, I will say this. So my brother, they own this piece up here.
Uh-huh.
And so they did the land swap to give Uncle Steve this piece. And my thoughts is you have that irrigation right there. When this is subdivided, we will address all this at that point.
But with the barn.
There's no point to do it right now. It's just, let's put the ag building up and be done.
Yeah.
Okay, well, ditch right by the barn.
Yeah.
Yeah, requiring frontage improvements with ag buildings, that's a good way to create libertarians, so I'm all for it. We need more libertarians, right? So,
And let me clarify.
Is that
So
on the record?
where are you at on, like, have you submitted that building permit, or are you
Yeah, so
waiting
we
for
started
this?
the building permit process.
And it's just one building?
It's just one building.
Okay, perfect. There are a few things I may tweak a little bit on the terminology I used in subparagraph A to make sure I've got some stuff clarified. So I'm going to send that to you probably tomorrow. But I just want to make sure, similar to one we did with J. Smith, where we specifically listed it, it's approved for this building, so that if a second, third, fourth building comes in,
10-7.
you'd have to come back and beg your indulgence again.
And Uncle Steve did say, yeah, when we do subdivide that piece, whenever that is, he has no problem putting in the frontage improvement. That's a no-brainer. They'll do it.
But I've listed triggers as both subdivide
Right.
or another building.
How do they get to that property right now?
Right now, my brother has given Steve an access right here to get to his
okay.
property, and that's why we'll improve that little
Yeah,
curb gutter section.
kind of a packed gravel.
And that,
flag.
yeah, that's actually a 66, in the future, it's gonna be a 66-foot right-of-way into that property. When that comes through, we'll dedicate that and
Yeah.
give it to the city.
Okay, should we open the public hearing on this?
Yes, please.
We see anyone in the public hearing? I see no one. Close the public hearing.
Put that on action, Mayor.
Action, thank you. Item number 6, still on. Public hearing to consider modification of Cedar City Ordinance 32-8.
Boy, you're making up for not being
Amending
here
the
for a while.
city subdivision
missed you
ordinance
guys.
to allow PUD-owned storage units.
So we brought before they changed the subdivision ordinance, we brought through a PUD down on Northfield, and everybody liked it. And so, but we didn't have an ordinance that allowed us to do storage units, on-site storage units. And so that's all that this does at this point.
well, we basically have people begging for PUDs to have storage units, right? Because they don't want people to park on the street. So,
And they're using the garages to store
Yeah.
all their stuff.
And let me just clarify a little bit on that. It's not that it prohibited any on-site, it was more the location.
Right.
Because they want the private road to go between. And that's where all of a sudden setbacks were kicking in.
Right.
And so to reach those setbacks, he couldn't have done what he wanted to do. But if you're somebody who wants to waste land, you could have done it.
right.
Could you go down to parking, I think it's E, maybe? I remembered it was E when I was reading through this. Yeah, about parking, right? No, let's see.
Right between pages.
Yes, this is, so 11, how did I get E out of that? Split pages, maybe. Perpendicular parking near PUD storage may count towards the PUD required parking. So does that mean then that the road width, whatever that road width is for the PUD, they can create a parking spot there, and will that eat into the width of the road?
No, they'd still have to
The
meet.
road and the unit.
Yeah, this doesn't vary the road width requirements to be able
Okay.
to park. So if they're gonna go perpendicular, again, they'd have to make sure it's wide enough. That's
Okay,
true
I
even
just
with
wanted to make
parallel
sure that
parking.
clarity.
And I'm trying to visualize this too, so it seems pretty generous, but I just want to make sure I've got it. So you would have a standard width PUD road, and then you have a perpendicular parking stall to spec, which is what, 20 feet or whatever that is. And then another 5 feet of clearance between that and the storage unit in order to use that style
If
Oh,
you
of parking.
wanted to use that
Correct.
style, yes.
If you, right, which, yeah, I know a lot of people aren't going to use that style, but if they wanted to for whatever reason, say I have a
Back
unit.
into their unit, they'd have to make the parking longer.
Right,
Yeah.
Well,
exactly.
The way that's worded, that sentence, there shall be a minimum of 5 feet, that's whether it's parallel or perpendicular.
Right.
You just don't want people parking right next to someone's door for their storage, and now they can't open it.
Right, no, it totally makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought, I just wanted clarification on that.
No, I think if anything, especially where this isn't like a commercial storage venture, right? This
No,
is
this is
private storage to the
private,
people that
so
live in, and if anything, we need to figure out more ways to make it easier to provide that.
Do we have the map up real quick of the PUD? Is that in the, or?
I did not include that in the
So
package.
basically, if you own building 1, then you get storage unit 1.
Mhm.
If you own building 2, you get storage unit.
Yep.
You cannot rent it out. It stays with the PUD.
Yeah.
And that's how
It's a part of the,
Mhm.
part of what you get.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
it's all part of the,
Remind me where that is,
Plus one
Mike.
for the PUD itself.
It's like
right.
The
Yeah.
piece in question, or the piece where it's at, just scroll to the south.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. It's just,
Where is it?
Go south, south.
Yeah, you're gonna be in the right location,
Right,
but it won't
it's
be
right
on there
there.
yet.
It's that piece right
that's
there.
exactly what it is.
Okay.
It's long and narrow.
That's where the current project is, but
Right. So the idea was, as I recall, the storage units would go along the south boundary.
Yeah, the storage units can be on the
There'd be a
south
private
boundary.
road to the
Private
north
road
of
in the
that.
middle, 34 feet
and then the
wide,
units.
and then units on this side. Now, there is one caveat to this whole thing. Our 2 years expired. Because it's a storage unit. And I'll take blame for it. We're just busy. So I don't know if I can come back for because everything's approved minus getting this ordinance in. If you want me to go through the new subdivision process, I'm not going to fight it. I'll take the blame. If I can get an extension for 6 months.
So 2 years from one, you got the vicinity in?
Yeah, I think it was July 30th, so just barely of 2023. Yeah. I knew this was going to happen, but
We will have to come back to you with an
To get a
extension.
extension.
that's fine. If I need to come back, that's fine. I'm not.
Yeah.
So this also is a public hearing. We don't have much public, but is there anyone here for this? Seeing none, we'll close that, put that on
Mayor, put it on
action.
action.
Item number 7, to keep trying to move it along, folks.
Thank you.
Considered granting a public utility easement on city property approximately 200 South Old Highway 91, now known as Cedar Boulevard.
And it doesn't look like we have anyone from Rocky Mountain.
Not a soul. I wondered about that too.
It's not too big of a surprise, I guess. Hopefully, this is mostly self-explanatory from what's provided. Since we know we want that road to be 100 feet wide, they're trying to shift their bearing of these power lines to where it should be in the future, which obviously we prefer, so we don't have to move it later. But that means they're coming into our tiny strip of property there with our monument sign. And so they're just asking for a PUE to come through there.
So, where exactly is this? Not 200 South. There's a typo or something.
this is
the sign.
this is on the Middleton property south of town where the
Oh,
city's
so it's
that's a
probably
typo.
42, 3200.
south.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're missing a zero.
Probably is 2,000.
All right.
It's gotta be
Okay.
2,000
It
south,
does,
yes.
exactly.
I see. Yeah, I don't have
that's
a
what it
problem
is.
with that at all.
Consent on that
Can
one?
we do consent?
Oh, wow.
That'd be
You kidding
great.
me?
Let's put on
There's
consent.
one.
We have one.
Matt? He asked me if I could move him to the first, and I said no.
Buddy, if we have to sit here, so do you.
Ask.
Item number 8, consider resolution amending the fee schedule for the water meters and strainers.
Matt Baker,
Prices go up.
water superintendent. So this is just fee increase on the water meters. We pay from Neptune meters to get our meters to the contractors or developers. We talked about it in June when we,
Yeah.
it was gonna happen, so now it's happened.
So what we see in the proposal, because I looked at it, is that what the new cost is then?
Yes, that was the paper they gave me.
So we're not making anything, we're just passing on what we're paying, right?
And most homes use the
The 1 inch.
the 1 inch, correct? Yeah. So
As a businessman, I'd like to see a markup.
You can't run without it.
Guess we could for installation and paper fees and back and forth 2 or 3 times. Whatever, it's up to you guys. This is
Yeah.
what we pay, so.
Yeah.
Well, this is what you're proposing, correct?
So we could amend it and change it.
If you want,
We could increase
add
it.
it.
yeah,
We're not gonna-
once we get into the business of markup on stuff we require, that gets
Yeah, that
A little
would be a
sketchy.
slippery slope
Yeah.
with the
You'd
municipality.
start paying sales tax probably.
You what?
You'd probably start paying sales tax.
Oh, yeah, if we mark it up, you mean?
Probably so.
Do you charge them, when you charge them for this, is that a commodity that's charged sales tax?
No.
No.
You have an exemption.
We pay sales
Yeah,
tax when we buy it from
exactly.
the
Just like ag. with
vendor?
exemption.
Yep.
No.
Oh,
Nope.
We would run into other issues if we tried to turn a profit.
no.
I, as much as we dislike it, it is what it is. We
Yep.
knew this was coming, you told us it was coming, and indeed it did. So
I'm okay putting this on
I
consent.
think we put this on consent.
It's a resolution.
Oh, we
Oh.
can't put it on consent. Action. Sorry,
But
we
you
tried.
can agree with it really
tried.
quickly next week.
Yeah.
Sounds like
Yeah.
we'll agree quickly.
Yeah, but if it'll still be at the bottom of the agenda.
Renan can
Matt
tell you
does
that we
not
did
show up
consider
that
and tried it for a while, to put the employees first and the engineers last, but it wasn't really fair either.
Yeah, it
But
wasn't
if you
very-
don't ask, the answer is always no.
Okay.
I tried.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
First of this
Item number
process, I
9,
tried.
consider bids for the South Main Street Lighting Improvement Project, Phase 2. Sean Johnson. Sean is
So-
not here, but
I told Shane he didn't have to stay till the end, that I'd just go ahead and handle the item on this. So this one on the Main Street Lighting Improvement Project, Phase 2, we put that project out to bid, had 3 bids returned. Skyline Creations came in as our low bidder on that, and we are recommending this to be awarded to them. When we look at the financial analysis, and I have to apologize, when we did the copy and paste from Phase 1, we neglected to change those to say Phase 2. But this is for Phase 2. We're showing what the original amount, or what our budget amount is, what this bid came in at, the other costs that are figured into that, and we are still showing that we have the funds to build this. So we're recommending that this be awarded.
Can I ask just a quick question? I'm happy we're finally moving this along, because this has been a pet project for me for a long time, because I want to get some of that RDA money back to start doing some stuff downtown.
Right.
But do we have sidewalk all the way to that intersection now where we're going, on the east side?
I don't think so. No, I don't, no.
So is that something that's included in the project?
In the lighting project?
Yeah.
To add sidewalk? No.
I mean, where are you going to put it? Where are you going to put the lights?
You'll have to put a base.
Yeah, we would have the lights set back to where sidewalk could be added. Yeah.
I think we know, though. I think we know, or we should know very soon how wide that sidewalk's gonna be, and we can
Okay.
engineer around it.
Yeah, it's not a big section, but I think there's, from about standard plumbing on down a ways, there's, yeah, or something. Anyway, okay.
Yeah, so that is something we'll make sure that we're not planting poles where sidewalk needs to go.
All right,
Still pretty
thank
tore
you.
up right there.
I think we put this on consent. Can we put this on consent?
I
Yes,
agree.
we can. Are you guys okay with that?
Thank you. Item number
This is an
10,
electrical company.
consider bids for the Cedar City Cemetery renovation project, Phase 3R. Ken, Shane, and Kent.
Yeah, so this one, we got quite a few bidders on this project, which was really nice. Our low bidder is Viking Excavation, Inc., and this one, we had mentioned in the memo that we were missing some signatures on the bid, with the bid form. That has been remedied. Viking is standing behind their bid, and they've signed that, and we are recommending award of this contract to Viking Excavation. With their bid, which was a favorable bid, that does get us to where we are within our budget for the project.
Could you, I think there is a map here. Could you scroll down to the map,
Yeah.
just so we know where we're talking about? Because I think it's just right near the veterans. Yeah. The monument, right, is the Veterans Monument's right there, so, okay. Yeah. Ooh, we got a lot left to do. Ooh. Yeah. You guys good with that?
Yeah.
I need to abstain on this item, so it would need to go on action.
Oh,
Thank you. Item number 11, consider
Mayor?
proposals for the 2025 traffic
Mayor?
studies. Yes?
Mr. Nielsen would,
Sorry, Mayor, I wasn't
I
fast
can't
enough.
keep up.
Ken Nielsen with Leisure Service. I just want to mention that we were talking with Kenny and staff that we're probably, on those next sections, we're probably going to split those in half. That's a lot to do. and-
Which next section?
So we'll start in the middle and probably go 7, go backwards. But the problem is with the timeline, because it's a fall project. So we start in, September, and we make them pour asphalt before it closes, and it's just a short timeline to do those huge sections. I mean, we're pushing it with these little ones, and so that's the concept that we're using. And also in the budget, you'll see the design phase in this amount, because we have to design the next phase in the same current budget.
Yeah.
Because if we say July 1, we're going to send it out, that
So
doesn't give
you're
them
ready
enough
to
time.
go when the budget gets approved?
Yeah, so we're always going to have to back end civil science to design the next phase. And then we'll come for budget, that say for the total amount, but that design fee needs to be started earlier, if that makes sense. Thanks.
But we're going to be consistent with the design we've been going with, right?
Always.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, well, that's on
Good.
action, Mayor.
Still on action, thank you. Item number 11, consider proposals for the 2025 traffic studies, the RFP.
Yeah, so on this one, we did have 3 traffic studies budgeted on this. With those, the budget amounts that are shown on the table here, we have a total budget between the 3 studies of $33,000. We did put out a request for proposals. The only proposal we received was from Hales Engineering, which Hales is a very reputable firm, would certainly be qualified to do this work for us. Their proposal did come in within our budgeted amount for the combined 3 studies. You will notice that the one study at the Fiddler's Elementary area is higher than the amount that we had budgeted for that study, but the combined total is within budget, and we'd like to go ahead and proceed with that.
Do you have any idea why we were off that much, or the scope of work didn't change, did it?
I think that one of the things we were hearing from consultants who did not propose was the challenges sometimes when they're dealing with the school district on those school ones.
Huh.
And so that kind of raises the cost there. So yeah, I don't think we accounted for that in our estimates.
Okay. Thank you. Consent?
Finally.
Consent.
We got 3.
4.
Want to express appreciation to our folks who did persevere through. We'd usually get pizza at 2 hours. We didn't. We are done at 2 hours and
Pain
15
stayed the
minutes.
whole night.
Mayor, I would move that we adjourn this work meeting.